I'd like to use this relatively simple design to illustrate the way in which you can automatically generate a plant schedule. Under gCADPlus and plant schedules and lists, we have a number of tools. The first is a tool to attach a plant database file. Let me just select Edit Plant List, and you can see here's the database file that's attached to the drawing. Lots and lots of species here. If I scroll up and down, you can see there's some 300 of them. You can add or edit to them. If you wanted to add more, you just go down to the last line and add more. I'll cancel from there. But the important tool in here is to set data to a plant. Before I do that, I'll just show those symbols that already have a name assigned to them, and I select it, and you can see if you look through here, most of the symbols have a name associated with them, apart from the ground cover specimens that you see through here. Let's ignore those ground cover specimens, and we'll just look at the symbol on the right that's centered in the view now. So I'll right click and unselect all, go back here and pick Set Data to a Plant. Right click to finish. So I'll set data to a plant. Down in the command area, I'm asked to select the symbol. So let's pick that symbol. And that's clearly going to represent some sort of mini shrub. And if we scroll down through the list, you can see under type here, I'm looking for some sort of mini shrub. So we'll pick the black aeonium and OK. So right click to finish. Now just check by show symbols with names. We'll just make sure that apart from the ground cover, which we'll do in a separate schedule, we have all symbols assigned. I'll unselect all. Now just show how easy it is to generate that plant schedule. It's just gCADPlus and plant schedule. I'll just draw the standard schedule for the moment. There is a prompt down in the command area that asks for the text height. Just say I wanted the text height to be 200 units. I'm working in the metric area here. I would input the first point and input the second. And the schedule is drawn in whatever, with the text being in whatever font is currently set. So you can see the system runs through, the automatic plant schedule has been generated, and the total number of plants in the design has been generated. If we went to Format and Text Styles and said we'll just have as the current style, the standard style, and we came over and Plant Schedule and drew the schedule again from the same spot to the same spot. Sorry, I wasn't reading the prompts. Right click, repeat the schedule, input the text type. We want 200 and a corner point there and corner point there, and the schedule is drawn again with the botanical name. If you wanted a little more space, it would just be a matter of drawing a wider plant schedule. You can remove names from a list if you add more samples. This symbol here represents a dodonaea, and if we look over here, there are 5 in the plan. If we come in here and copy the dodonaea like so, we're adding more. What I can then do is go to gCADPlus, and pick plant schedule and update the schedule, and the dodonaea, the number increments to 8. So once your schedule has been done, you can play around with the design subsequently and update that schedule. A ground cover schedule is built in a slightly different way. What we want to do with ground covers is to have some sort of diagrammatic representation of the ground cover done with a poly line, and then we'll just label each zone. So this is zone 1, Myoporum parvifolium. Here's a Hardenbergia violacea to scramble up the the fence. There's one of those going in, 15 of those going in, and they are each ground cover area set up with a different spacing structure for the ground cover. What we'll then do is to generate a schedule that will be similar to the one here, but will deal with the ground cover planting. So I've got one ground cover symbol left to run, so it's gCADPlus ground cover, make a ground cover. We pick the closed polyline. We can go to the plant list, then we'll come back and adjust the spacing. So the plant list, we can scroll down and we're looking for some sort of ground cover. And one of my favourites is a prostrate. That should be not a prostate Banksia, but a prostrate Banksia, Banksia blackifolia. I'll edit the plant list in a moment. So we'll do that, and we'll set a plant spacing here of say 250, because I know this specimen needs to be planted quite close. I'm using my base unit of measure in this particular design is millimetre, but it could be feet or even metres. So we'll OK that, and the prompt, look down in the command area, the prompt says input the first line of the leader, so we're going to mark the area. So we move away and it calculates that 20 specimens will be needed in that area. The prompt then says input an insertion point for the number block, or hit escape if you don't want a number block. By a number block we mean this, so that's ground cover zone 2, and if we click in here we can just arbitrarily draw a box. This is ground cover area 5. The final stage, of course, is to draw the plant schedule. So it's gCADPlus, ground cover, draw the schedule. So I'm asked to input the first point. I'll go slightly wider than the one above, and in goes the ground cover schedule. It's a block, so I can right click, pick edit the block. Our text height for that group and for this group should be 200. We need a bit of fine tuning on the routine that draws this, and we can close the block editor, and there's our ground cover schedule. If you wanted to move this line here or the line on the right, it would be just a matter of getting in here and edit the block. So this is a line that can be moved. If we go to ortho on, which we do, pop it there and move these across, pick our outer line, explode that rectangle, pick the, sorry, that needs a double explode, pick the line on the right, which should now be a single line, move it in, modify, then trim and knock off these, and your block for the ground cover schedule, when we close it, should look pretty good. So you can print off the drawing. We will work on this routine to try and get it to match. You'll notice that we're putting here the botanical name and on top of the common name. We'll change it in the next release of gCADPlus so that we get 2 columns, a botanical name column and a common name column. But I hope you can see that generating plant schedules and ground cover schedules is quite straightforward and saves a great deal of time.